You know, when you're stressed and you have a lot of anxiety, it's almost like you search for things in the world that are just as bad and terrible as you feel. So if you're having a tough time in life, it's almost like, for me personally, I start looking for even more turmoil that's out in the world currently. And perhaps it makes me feel better about myself and that I'm not the only one that's kind of struggling and angry, I suppose. And I think recently I'm finding that in the world of the religious sect, not only the political, but also in religions. And I think that we just have a lot of religious zealots, especially right now, blaming each other. And I think that most religions probably have come from pretty violent pasts. You can't ignore a lot of the Christian crusades, along with the Muslim takeover of a lot of the Middle East and persecution that they brought along with them. And I don't think that any Christian-based religions are completely innocent of doing the same thing. But we're kind of having the same outrage within America, it seems, right now, of one belief system contradicting with another. And I think that there's just a lot of zealots within each group that are stoking the flame, you know, and just trying to anger each other on each side of the aisle. And I just watched some videos from Dearborn, Michigan, and it's getting pretty intense. You've got the Christians saying that all these people are complete traitors and they just want to ruin America.
Sure, our children can grow up in the same America that I grew up in. White Christian country. Our founding fathers' blood soaks this land, not for Muslims and Islamic jihadists to play their prayer calls where our children walk to preschool.
And the other side just trying to say that they want to get along and coexist. However, their religion and belief system isn't one of a Western society. And so you've just got like this battle, it seems, against one another. And when you go and you watch videos of, say, a priest in the Muslim religion, his message is completely different than the people on the street. And I think that if we just listen to the religious zealots on the streets, we're going to get a completely different message than those who study the doctrine and teach within the religions. And it's probably the uninformed and low education people within each side promoting more violence against each other, and then just calling each other, you know, afraid of one another, and just doing whatever they can, I suppose, to make their point and try to convince you of their opinion and that it's better. And, you know, I'm just like anyone else. I'm gonna go out and watch YouTube videos that Nick Shirley puts on YouTube because it's entertaining, right? There's drama to it. And you kind of want to see the people fighting each other because it is entertaining. And we can sit in our own little comfortable bubbles here without conflict. And we can watch people get so angry with each other and come to terms with violence and be entertained in our safe home or at work, at our desk, in bed, whatever, wherever we're watching this content, and just get like sucked into this notion that maybe this is how we should be acting, and this is the proper way to have dialogue, when I think that's probably the last way to actually move forward in this day and age. So many people are just trying to convince each other that their way is the right way. And all religions have had wars over these dialect and these belief systems, and probably thousands upon thousands of people have died because of it. From religion to politics to a way of belief systems. Though I'd have to agree that some belief systems are better than others, but maybe only a part of one religious sect or political belief is better than another, and then the other side has elements that are better than your tribe or your religion. And so there's not one that's 100% infallible. While watching one of these Nick Shirley videos, one thing that really kind of got me thinking was an actual Muslim in Dearborn, Michigan, reacting to some Christian zealot grabbing a Quran, slapping bacon onto the Quran, and saying, "I'm going to burn this book." And he had a lighter and fuel, and he was about to light it on fire when he got tackled, and people tore the book away from him and wouldn't let him burn it, which seems a bit despicable, to burn any kind of religious book. Whether you agree with it or not, that's not the right way to go about it. But there was one person in their car who was a Muslim, and he was pulling up, started yelling at Nick Shirley, and then he said that he had a gun ready, and if he started lighting the Quran on fire, he was going to shoot him.
When you're getting heated, you're pulling over, you're hopping out of the car, you're ready to brawl with anybody.
I had my gun, I was going to blast if I didn't see the cops. I swear to God. That's it. I don't care. To me, I don't care. My life, I don't give a f. Let somebody blast me. I don't give a f.
Just because of the burning of the Quran, the attempted burning.
I'll f that motherfucker's life up and his family. That's it. It's on camera. I will f that motherfucker's life up. Let him come to me face on face. Face to face, I'll kill him. On my mother's soul. So that's it.
You're killing him.
I'll kill him. Murder.
America.
And he was just admitting on camera right then that he doesn't care if he goes to jail, that he would kill this person if he lit the book on fire. The perfect book, I guess, of the Islam religion. And to me, I started thinking, like, what would I do, or how would I react, or how should I react if someone was going to burn the Bible? So I Googled it, and of course, not of course, but it says you let it go, you let the person burn it, and you just have to remember that judgment is God's alone. And then so I wanted to do the same with what should a Muslim do if they see the Quran being burnt. And it said basically verbatim almost the same exact thing. And then I went a step further, and I wanted to see I don't know if they're actually priests of Muslim, I don't know what they're called, but I wanted to listen to how would one of the scholarly priests say about the Quran being burnt.
How many copies of the Quran do we have? Millions and hundreds of millions, if not billions. What happens if we have a damaged copy of the Quran? How do we honor it? In order to get rid of it, we either shred it beyond recognition or burn it. So we ourselves consider burning the Quran, honoring it. Of course, this disbeliever, this kafir, is doing it to insult the Quran. He's doing it to humiliate the Muslims and provoke them. If you listen to what he's doing and start marches and protests and burning shops and attacking the police force, you're falling into his trap and you're playing his game and you're achieving his objectives. Rather, turn the table in his head. Don't do anything. Just say that this is despicable, this is a heinous act, this is a sign of being primitive and uncivilized. Full stop.
And even if Muslim had so much violence in the beginning and Muhammad was a warlord, can we create a bridge of both Christian and Muslim now and all religions together and come together in more of a peaceful way where we can accept each other's viewpoints and religious differences? I'm not sure if we can, but I think that it would be a good goal to have, at least. And right now I'm reading a book. It's Swords and the Seratim, and it's about the 400 years of conflict between Christians and Muslims and Muhammad's life, just because I'm curious and I want to know more about this religion and the history of it when people are coming in. And there's just so many people who have no idea what Islam really even is, and they might be proponents or they might agree with it, you know, but they don't know any information actually about it. And just, I don't want to be an ignorant person and not have any information, whether it's good or bad. If it's coming into our country, I think we need to just educate ourselves on it and know what are the good points, what are the bad. It came from more of a taking over different nations and countries and forcing people into the religion. Now, have we done away with that, or is it still a thing and something that us as Americans need to look out for as we invite these people from other countries and different religions and ethnic backgrounds into our own society? And is that something that we want to somewhat adopt? Do we ignore it? Do we put up with it and just allow it? Or is it something that we want to push out? And right now, I don't really know where I stand on it. And so I would like to just learn more about it. And I think that history of whatever cultures is coming in, before we judge it, we need to educate ourselves on it. And I'm trying to do that without bias. You know, of course, I do have biases. I mean, I was born in America, and that Christian base, ethical morality is pretty strong with me, and I don't want to go away from that at all. But if there's a religion that doesn't adapt well to my own ethical and morality based belief system, is it one that has come from more of a worse background, and has it changed like Christianity has changed from dominion to more of love and peace? Can we say the same thing about the Islamic? And what does the Quran teach? Which I don't know, and personally I don't really want to read the whole book. I don't think that would be very much fun, but I can at least take a history lesson perhaps to learn more. I don't know. I think that just the fact that there was like a Christian nationalist calling for violence against Muslim people and doing the one thing that he knows would instigate them by burning their holy book, which I don't really want to see, and I don't want to see people burning the Bible. But at least I know if someone does burn the Bible, I personally don't have to take any violent actions against them, because in the end, it's only paper. And even if it was more of a godly written book, I don't have to be the one to take action against someone doing that, even if it is of my personal belief system and something that I believe was perhaps ordained by God to humankind. And I think we just gotta quit poking each other and just wanting more of a violent insurrection between the people, rather than in this day and age, with all that we know about science and about the world, that we can't find a way of cohabitation. I don't know, that's just some of my thoughts and what I've been just doing some research on, I suppose, and listening to the history of both sides of the table and both nations with very different backgrounds, and one of just continuous warfare between each other. What sounds like right now it's more instigated by one side, but we're in a different age now, and I think we're in an age of enlightenment. And I suppose lastly, with the spring coming here and the warmth is now coming back to Tahoe, it's beautiful. I can just come out here and realize that I'm in this world, but I don't have to be of it. I don't have to be a defender of Christianity. I don't have to be a defender of Islam or Buddhism or Hindu or anything. I don't have to be a defender of any political side. I can just live my life the best way I can and work on just being happy. And when life is hard and everything's kind of like a struggle, there's no point in adding more stress and drama and the violence and negativity of the world onto my shoulders. I can just let Caesar have his, and I can let the religious leaders have their followers, and I can choose whether I want to engage or not. And I think sometimes perhaps having the knowledge of what's happening, but also have the willpower and strength to just ignore it. We don't have to be involved, and we can just focus on our own lives and not get drawn into the evil that is iced over with good intentions. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with just living your own best life. Knowing what's in your own heart is good enough, and you don't have to prophesize it to the world. It's good enough just having it in here or here. Or if you're like in The Little Mermaid, it's in your foot. That's what the Sebastopol what is it? The seagull said when, yeah, anyways, you know the story. All right, I'm gonna end it there. All right, peace out. We'll see you tomorrow.